Jamaicans are facing struggles accessing their own beaches due to a colonial-era law, the Beach Control Act of 1956, which grants private landowners and foreign investors rights over the foreshore, effectively limiting public access. Here's a more detailed explanation. The Beach Control Act of 1956, enacted during British colonial rule, remains in place, granting the British Crown, and now effectively private entities, rights to the foreshore, while denying Jamaicans inherent rights to bathe, walk, or fish on beaches. As a result, less than 1% of Jamaica's coastline is accessible to the public, with many beaches becoming inaccessible due to development of coastlines by hotels, villas, and private residences. Local campaigners, including the Jamaica Beach Birthright Environmental Movement, JABM, are fighting to secure public access to natural sites and are challenging the Beach Control Act in court, arguing that it is outdated, racist, and discriminatory. The limited access has a significant impact on local livelihoods, recreation, and cultural practices, as people rely on the sea for fishing, tourism, and leisure. Some beaches, like Little Duns River in St. Ann, near the popular tourist resort Duns River Falls, have been closed to locals, raising concerns about the potential for further privatization and exclusion of Jamaicans from their own beaches. Advocacy groups like JABM are urging Jamaicans and international supporters to boycott hotels that deny access to beaches and to push for the repeal of the Beach Control Act. Ziggy Marley, son of Bob Marley, has publicly supported the campaign for beach access, calling for the decolonization of Jamaican beaches and urging people to support the fight for access. Campaigners argue that the current situation is a result of exclusionary colonial practices and that Jamaicans should have the right to access their own natural resources. Follow for more on Jamaican culture.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. My name is Dash Lifestyle. Kindly for watching me for the first time, remember to subscribe, like, share, and also comment. So guys, for a very long time, majority of Jamaicans, they have been complaining they can't access their own beaches. In today's video, I want us to watch this video from Jamaicans. They have come out and sent a warning message to their government and also to the foreigners who they are coming to Jamaica, and they are making their public beach to be a private beach. So kindly guys, watch this video till the end, then I'll be back with more comment.
Jamaicans demand access to the nation's beaches.
According to the Beach Control Act of 1956, a legislation that was passed in the Parliament of Jamaica when Jamaica was not an independent nation. 1962, we became independent. This law was passed in 1956. It has been 69 years since a legislation exists on the books in Jamaica that says we, the people of Jamaica, have no right to the beaches. It says the beaches are property of the crown and no man shall have any right in or over the foreshore and the floor of the sea. It translates into we don't have the right to swim. We don't have the right to bathe. We don't have the right to fish. We don't have the right to walk along the foreshore. That is a law in Jamaica, believe it or not. And that's what we are protesting against. That we, the people, cannot live in a democratic country where we don't have the right to access the sea and use the sea.
Have come out to stop us from going swimming, and they're carrying weapons. Heavy weapons. Heavy weapons against us. So the question we must ask ourselves, where do we stand in this nation when the police is being sent out against us on a peaceful protest just to swim? It is only to swim, and many of us can't swim. We're just going to dip in the water and walk on the sand. But the police is here with their loaded, well, I don't know loaded, but heavy weapons. Heavy weapons.
Look what they just did in Ochi. All the next people's stores. They have stores there many, many, many years. They just go tear them up for what reason?
because today is
Every other day in Kingston it happens.
in Jamaica. Nowhere else.
So it's actually not that simple. When Britain decided to give the island of Jamaica back to its people, there were certain stipulations involved. And one of those stipulations was that they would continue to own 90% of the foreshore. That was the only way that they could get their freedom from slavery. And in addition to that, it's kind of similar to how France gave back the Cambodia to the people of Cambodia. However, they were still required to pay taxes and are still required to pay taxes. So it's not that simple.
This is the legend, the Honorable Bob Marley, the king that brought reggae music to the forefront. But did you know that Bob Marley has a beach named after him in Jamaica? And did you know that that beach is in serious threat and in trouble right now as we speak? So Bob Marley's beach is located to the east of Kingston. You have Kingston right here, which is the capital of Jamaica. You have Harbour View, and then as you go into the parish of St. Thomas, you have Bob Marley Beach along the coastline there. Now, for many, many years, Bob Marley's Beach has been open to the public and has been open to locals. And it has been maintained by the local Rastafarian community with no help from the government. In recent years, there has been an increase in tourism into Jamaica, so much so that it has caused privatization of many of the local beaches in Jamaica and has begun a recolonization to the point to where Jamaicans cannot even attend their local beaches. Now, in this article, it talks about how local Jamaicans have been faced with restrictive rules, high admission fees, dirty water, and violence from local authorities when they try to attend their local beaches. Now, in this article, it talks about how local Jamaicans have been barred and banned from many of their beaches in their own country because the local Jamaican government has sold those beaches, the sand, including the water, to multinational corporations for tourism profit. Watch this next clip to see what I'm saying.
Listen, Jamaicans really have to go rise up against the colonization of the beaches that are going on across the country. I'm at Bluefields Beach in Westmoreland, and a part of the beach is now...
Let me just be honest with you. The local Jamaican government does not love its people and does every and anything to harm its people and keep its people under subjugation, including telling the tourists in the all-inclusive resorts not to come in the local areas, not to party with us, not to even communicate with us. So they try to separate us by buying the beaches and privatizing them to give them to these all-inclusive resorts that don't put money back into the country. So literally you have a bunch of thieves telling us how we should run our country. Jamaicans, it is the time now that we must rise up and kick these people out of our country. It's that simple.
I'm on a run in Jamaica that I thought would have beautiful oceanfront views for the entire time. If you were to look on a map, it actually looks like I'm running on the coast. But instead, this is all that I've seen. Just super high walls that are basically protecting the private property from everyone else, because 99% of oceanfront property in Jamaica has been privatized. This isn't true in every country. In a lot of the countries I've traveled to, it's actually illegal to own the beach. It has to be open to everybody. But in Jamaica, the vast majority of oceanfront land has been bought and basically taken away from the locals so that they can't enjoy it. You might be surprised because I've been walking along this street for at least 40 minutes and I haven't seen the beach once, even though I'm on the coast. And I was talking to some kids, some local kids a few nights ago walking down the road, and I asked them if they enjoyed going to the beach every day growing up in this beachside town, and they said they barely ever go because it's a 40-minute walk from their house, even though they technically live on the beach. So I just think this is interesting. It's not something that a lot of people who travel to Jamaica know about. They just go to their resort, they see the beach there, and then they take the airport, head to the airport and head out. But definitely, like, you would never know. Right here is the coastline because they put up this huge wall so that nobody can see it. I think it's unnecessary. I thought I was going to be running along the beach all morning, but instead I still haven't seen the beach once. It's crazy.
I just saw a video of a community meeting in Jamaica where they were talking about access to the beach and talking about sandals, doing this big development and taking more beach access from people. Now, this beach issue has been going on for many years, decades. These big hotels, these big developers come in, promise to give the community some jobs, win over the community that they're bringing this big development. Politicians sell it to the people in the community, and then all of a sudden the people's property suddenly belongs to tourists and the locals are locked out. And they may allow 1 and 2 people to sell their craft items. They may allow 1 and 2 people to continue their entrepreneurial activities somewhere on their property, but the vast population of the community is locked out. Most people will not have jobs there. Most people will not have access to the local facilities in the community that they once had access to. Because now everything, all the community's resources must go towards the furtherance of this development. Now, I think I've articulated my thoughts already in previous videos about how I feel about these developers, whether they're local or foreign, and whether they are of any real benefit to the local community. But what I really want to say is this. I think that we have seen this pattern far too many times for us not to know how to handle it. I think that this kind of pattern has been going on in Jamaica for as long as it has, and we are still allowing ourselves to be talked into these kind of projects by politicians and to be convinced and coerced by developers into these kind of projects that steal resources from our local communities. And the biggest grievance I have is that time and time again, when people discuss these issues, there are those of you who come onto social media to try to convince the people who are being affected and being impacted that it is for their own benefit. And I don't know if some of you are actually mentally ill, because it is mind-boggling to me that you actually believe the things that you are trying to convince people to accept. I had a professor in college who used to say this. Professor Agri Brown used to say, there is no such thing as sustainable development. Development, by its very nature, the way we treat development in the modern world, is not sustainable. We see development, I'm paraphrasing what he said, but we see development as building, tearing down nature, destroying natural resources, and creating these artificial structures. And that in itself is not sustainable. And so they cannot be out. The term sustainable development is misleading. So many of you Jamaicans have been misled. You've been misled by your politicians, and you've been misled by local corporations. You've been misled by foreign investors. You've been misled by everyone. And now you are misleading yourselves by defending the very people who are exploiting you. And I am at the point now where I even am really not even motivated to do certain kind of content anymore, because I'm preaching the same thing over and over again to people who I want to see have their rights, but they don't really want to have rights. They are okay with being exploited and being subjugated and having their resources stolen. And I am so proud of the people who stood up in that meeting and spoke out, but a lot of you are doing the opposite and welcoming your own exploitation. Anyway, me feel cute today. If you feel like you want to support me, click the link and pick up something from my shop. Me finally get my makeup right and me like it. Me feel nice and me feel comfortable with it today, and I'm going out on the street so that people can see me how me look nice.
So guys, I hope you have watched that video from Jamaicans. Majority of Jamaicans, they have come out and they are complaining they can't even access their own beach. Majority of the Jamaicans, they have been complaining about this to their government, that but Jamaican government, it has kept quiet. It has kept quiet. And also, I came to learn that Jamaican government, it is favoring the foreigners than their citizen, because I saw that Jamaican government, it has allowed like the Chinese to come in Jamaica and to do business for a period of 5 years without paying taxes. So these people, the Chinese, the foreign Chinese, you know, I cannot just say all Chinese, because in Jamaica we are having Chinese Jamaica, and also we are having the Chinese foreigners who they are coming to invest in Jamaica. So these Chinese who are coming to invest in Jamaica, they are the ones who are being given 5 years of working in Jamaica without paying taxes. You can imagine. Jamaicans themselves, the citizens, the locals, they cannot even do a business a single day without paying taxes. But Jamaican government, it has allowed the Chinese to do business in Jamaica for a period of 5 years without paying taxes. Because of this exceptional, because of how Jamaica's government, they have removed taxes to the Chinese foreigners. Majority of the Chinese foreigners, they have gone ahead and shut down the businesses of the local people, because the local people, they cannot do a business with the people who they are being allowed to do business for free without paying taxes. So because of that, it has killed majority of the local businesses. And right now you can go ahead and see that majority of the biggest businesses in Jamaica, it is owned by the Chinese people. Yeah, the Chinese, they are owning the biggest businesses in Jamaica. And also the Chinese, they are owning majority of the these apartment and majority of the hotels. And these Chinese people, they have gone ahead and purchased the land which it is near the beach, and they are going ahead and turn the beaches, the public beaches, to be a private beach. So because of this, it has affected majority of Jamaicans. They cannot even go and access their own beaches. And also they are being the owners of the Chinese, or the owners who have bought these land near the beaches, they want them to pay so that they can access this beach. You can imagine the beaches that were public, they have been turned to be a private, and Jamaicans, they are being denied to go and use this beach. So because of that, we have seen that majority of Jamaicans, they have been complaining that the Chinese or any other foreigners who are coming to Jamaica, they shouldn't privatize their beaches, because beach, it is a natural resources. Everybody who has an access to the beach, especially the local, you can't just come to someone countries, buy the land and turn that buy the land near the sea, and you are denying them to go and use the beaches. So this is tell you that this is wrong, and Jamaican government, they need to do something. Jamaicans, they have been complaining about this, but the government has kept quiet. And majority of the Jamaicans also, they have been complaining about the current government. They are saying the current government, it is not working according to the will of the people. And for me, I can tell you that right now Jamaicans, they are heading to do an election. They want to elect a new leaders. For me, what I can tell you is for you Jamaicans to pray so that you can elect a good leader, a leader who exactly will work according to the will of the people. I know the most difficult thing for us black people, it is to choose a leader. When it comes for us to choose our leader, we are ended up choosing the bad leaders. So right now, I want to tell you that you need to choose a leader like Ibrahim Traore. You need to choose a leader who is willing to lead you guys, not a leader who is doing a majority of his time is favoring, is giving the first priority to his family, because we have been having the leaders like that. When these leaders, they are elected, first thing, they are flying their family out of the country, and also they will start to take out the resources from the country. They will go and invest it in outside that country. So this tell you that these leaders, they are too greedy, and also this leader, they will always put their family first. So for me, I want to tell Jamaicans, you need to choose a leader like Ibrahim Traore. Pray to God so that you can choose a leader who will work according to the will of the people, not the leader who will become sellout, because this is like selling out the country to the foreigners, because you have been given so much opportunity, you have been given so much freedom to the foreigners, and you have denied that freedom to the to your own citizen, to the local people. So for me, I can tell you that if Jamaican government does allow majority of, if it has allowed the foreigners to do business in Jamaica without paying tax for 5 years, also they need to allow the Jamaicans also to do a business without paying taxes for a period of 10 years. Yeah, you need to give more priority to your own people than the other foreigners. If you want the foreigners to come and invest in your country, there is a rule. You can just communicate, and also they need to support their people, because this is killing the businesses of the local people. You are killing your people businesses. I can tell you that the next coming 5 years or 10 years, you will see majority of the Chinese people taking over in Jamaica. So for me, it is to tell the Jamaican government to be more careful, and also to give the people access of the beach. The Jamaicans have been complaining about their beaches, and the Jamaican government has been keeping quiet. So right now, we want to see a Jamaican be given freedom of accessing their own beach. So kindly guys, subscribe if you haven't, like this video, share, and also comment. See you on my next one. Bye bye guys.